There is no point in making a YouTube video if your thumbnail isn't good. You can have the most amazing content in the world, but if nobody clicks on your video, nobody will see it. Hi, my name is Dexter Clark from the Netherlands and I've been on YouTube since 2010. Today we talk about YouTube thumbnails. Make sure to stick around to the end for the bonus tips because these really make a difference. First of all, try to make thumbnails based on two principles. The first principle is hard and the second principle is even harder. The first principle: a good thumbnail and title tell a story. Let's take a look at this photo right here. It tells a story and could be a great thumbnail. You see sand, shoes, sunglasses and sunscreen. This has something to do with the beach or swimming in the sea. A great title could be for a tutorial how to take care of your skin on the beach, or for a vlog. It all had to do with a shark. The photo tells the story that you went for a swim and the title tells you that you saw a shark. How can you not click on that? Storytelling can be in the form of a preview, a summary of what is going to happen in the video. For informational content, that could be the value that the viewer gets out of the video, so the end result of the video. An example of this is the before and after, or the right and the wrong way. Or for example, what a process is going to look like. For example, how to write a video script, you see me with a laptop writing. The second principle is super hard. Give viewers a reason to click on your video. If a viewer sees 10 videos on the same topic, why should they click on your phone review instead of all the other reviews? Make sure you have something unique that you communicate, or what makes your review better than all other reviews. Your video title is an integral part of that. If you haven't seen my video about video titles yet, I strongly suggest you do. The link is in the description. This is pure marketing, how to sell your video to your viewer. A thumbnail works best if it invokes curiosity. Why does that happen? What happens next? Why do you want to do that? You want to leave viewers no choice but to click on your thumbnail. Let's take a look at an excellent video by Mark Rober. Building the perfect squirrel-proof bird feeder. Oh man, that's a tongue twister. It's only watched 40 million times. You see the obstacle course, you see the squirrel, kind of. The thumbnail tells the story of the squirrel and the course. You want to know how and if the squirrels take the course. You have to click on that. Okay, one of my own examples for an informational video. Okay, it's not on the same level, but it uses the same technique. Why 99% of beginner YouTubers won't grow. The thumbnail tells a story of two persons. You see a line that is not going up, an arrow with 99%. This triggers a question. What about those 99%? And the video title explains. When you are a beginner YouTuber, you have to know what that is. You have to click on that. I hope. We'll find out. The link to the video is in the description. Some tips for thumbnails. First of all, make sure that you make your thumbnail before you film your video. This way you are able to make more cohesive content between your video, your thumbnail, your title and your description. Then draw attention. Draw attention to a certain part of the thumbnail, especially when something is barely visible. You can do this with an arrow or with a circle, or you can point with your hand, or you can use the direction with your eyes. So you look at something here and then there is something in the thumbnail. Then clickbait, yeah, it's so obvious, but I want to have said it anyway. Clickbait will get you nowhere. You make a promise in your title and thumbnail, make sure you live up to that promise. Consistent branding. Make sure that viewers can recognize your video. So if they have seen one video, they recognize your other thumbnails. Make sure that you use the same elements. Of course, the same face, but also the same colors, the same font size and the same objects. For example, my thumbnails have always red in them, sometimes text, sometimes not. You see my face and there's almost always some kind of object there. The easiest way to do this is to make a standard template in Photoshop, or the smart people use Affinity Photo or Canva or something, that you can use every single time with already those elements in it. If you are interested, I'll mail you a free PSD template. The link for that is in the description below. Don't use the bottom right corner of your thumbnail. Here is displayed the length of the video. This is why I always use text at the top or on the left side of the thumbnail.
But our friends at Google do exactly the opposite. They use the bottom left corner.
Let's talk about text. Some people try to write whole dissertations in their thumbnail. Absolutely not necessary. The strongest thumbnails have little to no text in them. Try to convince the viewer by using strong visuals. This thumbnail invokes emotion, tells a clear story and gives viewers a reason to click. Let the title and the thumbnail work together to tell a story to the viewer. And instead of repeating the text of your title in your thumbnail, add a trigger. Add a trigger that triggers viewers to click on your video. For example, my video on my DJ channel about sound cards. The title has all the target keywords in it. The top 5 audio interfaces for music production. The trigger why people click is in the thumbnail. I said I asked 15,000 producers. The thumbnail tells you what you're going to see, a top 5, and you see 5 sound cards. YouTube is used a lot on mobile phones, so make sure that your message comes across on a tiny mobile phone screen. Zoom your thumbnail out and see if you can still see what is going on. If you use text, make sure that that font is readable. Good readable fonts are Tahoma, the bold version, Impact and Arial Black. Make separate photos for your thumbnails.
It helps me to make funny noises. Ooh.
It's really hard to find a frame in your video footage that is sharp, and it's even harder to find a video footage frame that you don't look like a moron on. Faces work really well on thumbnails because people are better able to connect with you. Also, people can recognize your face when they've watched videos of you before. The typical YouTube faces are there for a reason, because emotions work very well. Show viewers what you think. Are you angry? Are you bored? Are you amazed? A review of a sound card that is terrible doesn't lend itself for a smile. You are angry! This represents the content and the angle of the video, but it also invokes curiosity. Why is he mad? What's so bad about it? Some people may think that that is an exaggeration and it's overdone. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, but we're here in the business of selling the click. Okay, and here the lights went out for me. During the shoot of this video I was battling a gruesome headache and I was nauseous. I had to lie on the couch and I didn't come off of the couch 8 weeks later. Creator burnout is real, absolutely, and I think I really dodged a bullet there. I was only ill for 8 weeks, and when I started this channel I thought, well, let's make 2 videos a week. Well, no, not gonna happen. For now I'm gonna stick to a schedule of 1 video a week. Let's continue with the thumbnails. Some creators use what I call a vacation photo in their thumbnails. An emotionless smile which doesn't say anything. When you make a video about the vistas of Ibiza, this is a holiday picture, this is a YouTube thumbnail. Or even better, how can you not click on that? If your video is about an object, that's the subject of the video, so for example a product, make sure that both the product and your face are in the thumbnail, so this person is going to talk about this thing. Stand out. Let's blur the YouTube home screen. Which thumbnail stands out? This one, right? You want that to be your video. When everybody uses blue in their thumbnail, use red. If everyone uses red, use yellow. Make more than 1 thumbnail. I sometimes have 5 or 10 thumbnails for a video. Then I can see which one I do like the best, which one I would click on. You can also ask your audience, for example, in your community tab or on Instagram, for example. This is first engagement, and second of all, an ad for your video. The thumbnail is basically a movie poster, an ad for your YouTube video. And do you think that Disney went with his first draft of a movie poster for a multi-million-dollar film? Some tips. The first one, use a resolution of 1920 by 1080. This is what YouTube advises us because this gives YouTube the best results when reading text and objects in a thumbnail, so it knows better what the content of your video is. Second, use a high contrast. Third, use a high saturation. Make sure to sharpen your photo, so even if you resize the picture, it still looks sharp. And make sure that thumbnails are rich in color. Again, my thumbnails aren't blue and red by accident. Some tricks to stand out against the background. First of all, you can make the background a little bit darker or less contrasty. Second of all, you can blur the background so you see less of the background. And you can also use a white border around the foreground object. The power tips. These really make a difference. Test your thumbnail on Google Cloud Vision. YouTube uses a version of this algorithm. You can upload your thumbnail in the test version of this algorithm and see what it recognizes. Does it recognize the right text, the right objects? Does it think it is spammy? That is a really bad sign. All to increase the likelihood of success of your video. And you can upload multiple thumbnails and see what the YouTube algorithm thinks is the best for your YouTube video. Power tip number 2, A/B test your thumbnail. If your video isn't performing very well, I would suggest swapping out your thumbnail and see if the video would perform better. This only works if you have a lot of views, so at least 1,000, so your numbers are statistically significant. You can note down in the beginning what you had, the views per 48 hours, and then after the change what amount of views you have then. But don't change it if your video performs very well, it can only go worse. I will also link up some resources that you can find for free on my website. A PSD template for your thumbnails, 100 free examples of really good YouTube thumbnails, and also an A/B test spreadsheet.